great stories on 6PR.
And this summer, enjoy Crown's best value offers every day, including under $20 menus.
So thrown in is a good old-fashioned thunderstorm, which can really play havoc with your technology. Isn't that right, Ben?
That's right. Yes, it can.
Speaking of playing havoc with technology, that's what we did today, didn't we?
Oh, did we ever?
Two big kids went and had a play.
We rode the lightning, so to speak.
Yeah, the Teslas.
Yes.
They were impressive. They were seriously impressive. Were you as impressed as I was?
I kind of had an idea of what to expect, but I didn't expect that much. Yeah, performance, we can talk about that in a second, but we should probably start off with the actual cars themselves and how they look and how well they were fitted out and the controls and things. So Chris and I, we met with the Tesla Owners Club of Western Australia, one of two clubs in Australia, and they were kind enough to let us have a play with their toys. And the ones we had a play with were the Model 3s. Now, these are the latest model Teslas that have come out. And there was a standard range, and then there was a long range performance model. So the standard one has got one motor, and the performance has got a dual motor.
Mind you, I should point out the one with one motor has still got plenty of grunt.
Oh, it's got a heap of poke. Yeah. So that's the thing that really surprised me, and I'm pretty sure it took you by surprise as well, is the amount of torque these things have. They are a smallish sedan. They're still roomy on the inside, and there's plenty of storage space. But for their size, they don't look like incredibly fast.
You know, when I opened the back and I said, geez, I can stick myself and my mate's golf clubs in there.
Yeah, the rear boot is absolutely cavernous. You can actually fit a couple of bodies. You fold them up a little bit, but you can fit a couple of bodies in the boot. And it will actually work. You fold down the seats, you can sleep in it.
It takes sleeping in the car actually becomes a realistic possibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and these things are also really well connected too. So they're actually connected to the internet, so you can use that view screen in the middle of the dash for watching videos. You can play games on them if you like. And it is a lot to take in for the couple of hours we had. But the thing that really
took it in, we did.
Yes, we did. We took in as much as we could. So the way they drive was actually it was quite different as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. When you take your foot off the accelerator, you're braking.
Yeah.
So what happens is we learnt this very quickly.
Sure
you
did.
keep your foot on the accelerator. When you want to slow down, you just ease your foot off the accelerator.
Yeah.
If you wanted to brake and you took your foot off the accelerator, let's say, for example, somebody stopped in front of you suddenly, and you took your foot off the accelerator, before you've actually had time to press the brake, the car's already braking.
Yeah.
Because the action of taking your foot off the accelerator makes the car brake. They do drive differently to a regular car.
Yeah.
They don't have gears.
No.
But none of that matters. And the other thing is, when you're driving along, like we went up and down the freeway, as part of our driving, as well as going through some intersections and what have you. So that was the other thing. The steering was really direct. I really like direct steering. I was really enthused by that.
Which is interesting because it is all drive-by-wire.
Oh, but mate, the direction. And the other thing I was saying, going up and down the freeway, you get the road noise.
Yes.
So it sounds the same as a regular car.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, when you're driving a regular car down the freeway, unless you've got a barking exhaust, which very few of us have, you don't hear your car as such. You don't hear the engine. What you hear are the wheels on the road. And that's what you heard in the Tesla.
Exactly.
And the other thing was it has a screen.
Yeah.
And it's showing you where all the cars are.
Yes.
Can I change lanes? Well, you can see how far the car is behind you.
Yep.
And if you go to change lanes, I mean, you've got an option, by the way, of driving in, well, I suppose for want of a better term, well, actually it is, it's autopilot because we did that the first time.
We did.
And it'll go up and down, it'll change lanes, it'll do everything by itself, as long as you're on the freeway. Yes. The moment you go up and exit, it disengages.
Yeah.
So as long as it can operate on the freeway and somewhere like that, no problem, and it will change lanes. It will adjust its speed relative to the car in front of you.
Yep.
But if you're driving it manually, and I did that, I was given that, go off the edge of the road a bit, and it goes beep, 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 beep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tells you you're going off the edge of the road and shows you. Or if you go to change lanes and there's a car there, it goes beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Tells you straight away, don't change lanes. And what happens is the car flashes.
Yes.
To say that's the car, that's the reason why you can't change lanes.
Yeah, and when we say it flashes, this is on the screen that's in the centre of the dash.
Yeah, it's a giant computer screen.
It is. It is a big, big screen. And it really gives you that awareness of where you are on the road and where you are in relation to other vehicles. And you think it'll display another car on the road as like a little boxy type symbol. No, it shows pretty much the actual shape of the car. So if it's a sedan, you'll see a sedan shape. If it's a hatchback, you'll see a hatchback shape. If it's an SUV, you'll see a big honking SUV shape. You'll even see a motorcycle shape for finding motorcyclists. And I think
it'll make things a hell of a lot safer for motorcyclists.
Exactly.
No
I was about to say.
it.
So if you're a motorcyclist, I would be hanging around the Teslas and just making sure you stick close to those things because they know you're there.
Something else you did, you put one of them, albeit accidentally, into Sentry mode.
Yeah. So it was parked up and we were all talking as we like to do. I think one of us got a little too close to it and then did it beep? I can't remember.
Yeah, it went beep and then he said it's gone into Sentry mode.
That's right.
What's Sentry mode?
Now,
and it's in the computer and you can explain Sentry mode.
Yep. Okay, so Sentry mode is using the cameras around the outside of the car. And I think we're talking about 6 to 8 cameras. And now these are usually used for sensing the traffic around you. But the people at Tesla thought, we've got these cameras, we might as well use them. So when it goes into Sentry mode, it actually starts capturing video from all around the car. So I can see people walking up to it, walking away from it, and it also displays Sentry mode on the main display inside the car. And I think it also gives a video feed as well. So it gives you that clear warning, hey, you're being watched. And this Sentry mode has actually caught out a few people who, I don't know, have got some sort of a chip on their shoulder and think it's okay to scratch or wreck Teslas. And so it's actually been helpful. This is all high-definition video as well. So you can
It's good
see
quality.
very good quality. So if someone walks up to it, you can tell if they've had a shave this morning or not. Which is pretty cool.
That's how good it is, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Remember also with the screen when we're going up the freeway, you could also bring the freeway ahead of you on the screen.
Yeah.
So as well as looking out the windscreen, you could see the freeway ahead of you on the screen, which you could zoom in.
Yes, yeah. It is a lot to take in. But
and the power of these things,
I was just about to get to that.
And it's a funny thing too because you got all this power, and no gear changes.
No, smooth.
I mean, the speed that I got from 0 to 100 was, I don't know, about half a second, or it felt like that. It was like,
So the official time, so from 0 to 100, from a standing start, it's 3.4 seconds, I believe. I'm actually pretty sure it is.
I don't know what we did, but we did it with put yourself back in the seat mode.
It feels like...
Threw you back in the seat, just pinned you back.
It feels like the hand of God is square in the middle of your back and giving you a big old shove. So I've actually got some details. So
the other thing is traction was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
That was the other thing. It gave... And you'll recall I made this comment when we're driving down the freeway.
Yeah.
It felt to me like it was grabbing the freeway. You'd almost feel like it was attached magnetically to the freeway. It was an interesting sensation where you have this feeling, you got this feeling that the car is just sticking to the road. Right? At no point did you feel that the car was kind of loose or not gripping the road. You felt like it was literally gripping onto the road.
Yeah. That's what the motoring journalists call planted.
Planted. This thing was embedded.
Yes, it was. It was not going anywhere. It was going only where it wanted to go, and that was it.
And the technology is just it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you realise this is a car that people could use quite easily. And one of the things we talked about, and this is really interesting.
Yeah.
And if you're, for example, a senior and you're thinking, geez, I find this stuff really interesting, boys, because this is talking about stuff I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
The advantage cars like this are going to have for seniors, they will, without question, allow you to keep your licence longer.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the ability and what these cars can do. And that was the other thing too, parking it by remote control.
Yes.
Seriously, if you're a person who deep down knows that your parking kind of sucks.
Yep.
Tesla removes that problem for you.
Absolutely.
Because it literally will park itself.
Yes.
And I know that because I was sitting there while it did it today.
Yeah, so hands up off the wheel.
Yeah.
The wheel's spinning in front of you as you're manoeuvring in. And
trust me? Yeah, I trust you. Had honest face, but it did its thing.
Oh, it sure did.
And I could see on the computer how it was lining it up. You remember the car that pulled in front of us?
Yes.
And it stopped and waited.
Yeah.
Until that car cleared. So it knew the car was there and thought, I actually don't know what this person's going to do. I'm going to stop, let them get out of the picture, and then I'll carry on.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other thing, it parked equally distant between the two cars.
Oh, dead centre.
It was like, if we could have got a ruler, it would have been to within a millimetre, I reckon.
I think so. Yeah, and it also does parallel parking, apparently really, really well. Yeah. So nice and fast and gets a parallel parking done in a flash. You can also summon the car as well. So
wasn't that great when he summoned it? Backs out and it comes over, and I thought, gee, that could be handy.
Yep.
Especially if you thought, I don't feel like walking to the car. That's all right. The car will come to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really cool, especially if you're trying to park in a really tight spot in a tight garage. So instead of dinging the doors, you can stand away from the parking area and summon the car, and it'll
back the car out.
Yep.
Not have to worry about that.
Yeah. Really, really cool.
And you won't have to worry about opening doors, and you just back it out and it'll be out and you just get in.
Just so much smart stuff. But the thing that really blew me away was the acceleration.
The power's unbelievable.
It'll
blow the doors off the most powerful V8. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about some of the statistics of some of the really big, powerful V8s. I mean, we're talking about blow the doors off Aston Martins and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, look, those that are interested in the figures, I did ask one of the owners about quarter-mile times because, this is...
That's right, the old quarter mile.
The old quarter mile. So
give you a drag.
Yep, give you a drag.
Police officers need not listen. Carry on.
So if you're going to go and take on a Model 3, they typically run an 11:45 on the quarter mile.
That's fast.
Which is quick.
Yeah.
If you are going up against a P100D MS, so that's apparently like the fastest P100D you can get, you're looking at a 10.6 second standing quarter.
Sheesh.
Now, I don't know many cars that will come off the showroom floor and do a 10-second quarter mile.
No, you'd have to go to the high end, very expensive European sports models for that.
Yeah, and these cars are, well, they're much less.
The one thing that really stuck out for me is the one of the areas I see it having a lot of implications for. One of the things seniors most dread is losing their driver's licence.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all spoken to people, mum or dad's going to have to stop driving.
Yes,
and it is a big deal.
It is. It's
because
terrifying.
It removes independence.
Yeah,
cars such as the Tesla very, very soon are going to bring that to an end.
Yep.
There could be circumstances where you drive a vehicle like that, a vehicle with self-driving capability,
yes,
and you'll be able to retain your licence on condition that you drive a vehicle like that.
Exactly.
But the bonus will be you'll be able to maintain your independence.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And, the car will do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So this is all down to the full self-driving package that is coming to Telstra.
And I felt on the freeway, because it did the self-driving thing on the freeway for us, I felt quite safe doing that. Yeah, and you know me, I've had my concerns about this stuff and I've expressed them.
Yes.
But I felt quite safe.
Yeah.
I wasn't sitting there thinking, geez, I don't like this. I felt safe. Yeah. And that's a really big deal.
It is. Yeah. It is. And you'd think it takes a lot of convincing to get over that sort of concept in your head that it is safe or it is not safe. And pretty much from the word go, as soon as you hit that button, as soon as you went to self-drive or autopilot,
it's called autopilot.
Autopilot, yeah, it's autopilot. So it actually behaved in a way that you'd expect.
Yeah. And it was recognised, it knew what was around it, especially when it was in the middle lane, had two cars on the other lane.
Yeah.
By the way, if you do have your own technological issues and you'd like to have a chat to us, 922 118 882.
Hi there, it's Simon Beaumont. Make sure you listen into Afternoons tomorrow. We have a couple of our favourite regulars for you. Dr. Ross Walker on your
Carvia
and Jason Featherby on your
Schrimata.
That's your heart and your money. Thanks, Pete. Listen in, call in.
Spend your afternoon with Simon Beaumont tomorrow from midday on 882 6PR. Or catch up now at 6pr.com.au.
I need you to give blood. Like school pickups depend on it.
Like piano practice depends on it. Like tuck-ins depend on it. Sleep tight. Like dads depend on it. In Australia, a new blood donor is needed every 5 minutes, and they're needed to save lives like mine. So please, give blood like life depends on it. Search Give Blood to book a donation with Australian Red Cross Lifeblood today.
Things are about to get intense at Dave's workshop. He went to bizcover.com.au and saw how much he could be saving on his public liability insurance. So now he's getting his old policy out of his system. BizCover are Australia's small business insurance specialists, giving tradies like Dave multiple quotes from top insurers. No nasty paperwork, just hassle-free insurance online. Don't pay too much for your business insurance. Head to bizcover.com.au to compare, insure and save.
This Labor Day weekend, bring the family down to the Rotary Club of North Perth's 33rd Annual Hyde Park Fair for charity. Enjoy over 200 market stalls, local arts, international food, entertainment, rides, show bags, a fashion parade, Sunday night talent show and the Peter Rabbit Disco Monday. The Hyde Park Fair, Sunday and Monday from 9 a.m. Entry is free. Corner Vincent and William Streets, Perth. Visit hydeparkfair.com.au. Brought to you by the Rotary Club of North Perth, sponsored by the City of Vincent and Pentanet and supported by Lottery West.
Excellence, experience, passion. Standard inclusions in every Ross North home. As Perth's premium builder for the past 40 years, Ross North Homes offer the highest quality workmanship, superior inclusions and a truly personal service. Our passion for building and drive for excellence sets us apart from the rest and ensures that with your Ross North home, you are getting the very best. Ross North Homes, 40 years strong. Visit rossnorthhomes.com.au.
BC6 552.
If you're a fan of the World Game, join me, Rob Gilbert, with Michael Edgley for Box to Box.
Oh, what a goal!
From 2 till 4 p.m. every Friday on Macquarie Digital Radio NTS or later by podcast on radionts.com.au. It's your weekly guide taking you closer to the action with behind-the-scenes news from the domestic and international game, plus in-depth analysis from a who's who of players, coaches and journalists.
Box to Box for Chemist Warehouse, home of real brands and real savings. And Storage King, the kings of storage, moving and more.
Until midnight on 6PR, this is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
By the way, Ben Aylett's here talking technology. Well, at the moment, sort of talking the other T, really, Tesla. Yes. Would have had a bit of fun with that. Yes. By the way, all of Ben's contact information's on his website, benaylett.com. 1 L, 2 T's in Aylett.
Correct.
Look for the Hawaiian shirt. Hi, Tony.
G'day, Chris. That sounds like a bit of fun, testing the Tesla car.
Oh, mate, you got no idea. I was in nerd heaven. Honestly, and the power they've got, Tony, unbelievable.
Wow, where were you driving at? Just on the road, or
just on the freeway? Yeah,
freeway and the couple of main suburban roads.
Wow, that's full on. Just as a side to that, I just watched a podcast with Elon Musk the other day. He was interviewed on a Joe Rogan podcast, and he seemed to be quite negative, like about the future in terms of artificial intelligence.
Oh,
that
quite
one. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you seen that?
I've talked to people about it, and the thing with AI and the way it is today, it's very good at particular tasks. So AI is very good at spotting people in a picture, but if you ask it to write a song, it can't do it. So at the moment, the AI is very, very specialised. We are still struggling to find any general AI. So something that would be capable of the Skynet Terminator sort of deal. We're still a long way off that.
Sure. Well, I don't know what Elon knows, but he seemed to think it looked quite bleak and it could potentially be too late by the time they try and regulate the thing. That's what he was saying. That was the basic gist of what I was saying.
The technology was going to get ahead of the regulations that might govern it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he seemed to be saying that by the time they implement, a regulation to stop it or whatever, the stuff could be taken over. But that's from a guy who obviously has a hell of a lot more knowledge than I do. I'm an ignorant. I don't know a thing, and I'm not worried about what he said. But I just thought it was interesting, and I thought I'd mention it.
It is interesting. It's an interesting little thought experiment. And look, he might be onto something. He might be overblowing it. Because he was doing other stuff on that Joe Rogan podcast, wasn't he?
He didn't really. He wasn't very forward in speaking, actually, to be honest. But
which is unusual. Most unusual. Elon's usually far more forward than that.
Yes.
Thanks, Tony. Mark.
G'day, Chris. G'day, Ben. How are we doing?
Yeah, good,
Very
mate.
well, Mark.
Good.
What's up?
Listen, former iPhone fan, now a proud owner of a Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus.
One of us.
Which I love. Just asked some information on the S20 and the S20 Plus.
Mm-hmm.
They've got me intrigued a little, and it sounds like a really nice piece of kit.
Yes.
Just wondering what you know about it.
Look, I know that the cameras are the best yet. The S20 Plus Ultra has got that massive, I think it's a 108 megapixel sensor with almost like a periscope style lens setup, but it's not external. It's actually inside, so it gives it that focal length, so you can pack more optics in. And it's amazing. So I think it's something like a 30 times optical zoom, which is insane. And then you pair it up with digital zoom, and they're claiming 100 times zoom, which is, it's just nuts. Now, some people have reviewed it and they've said that 100 times zoom, it's enough to sort of make out some general shapes, but it is a bit blocky. So it doesn't look great at 100 times zoom, but it's still a party piece. But yeah, at the end of the day, the S20s, all of them, they're packing some serious hardware. And if you're in the market, definitely have a look.
Yeah, no, I'm a massive fan of the S10 Plus. It's a great camera, actually a great package. So I'll just stick with that for a little while.
Good move. Good move.
Good on you, Mark.
Thanks, guys.
It's good that you also got a phone that you're happy with. By the way, just for a moment, just harking back to the Teslas.
Yes.
That was the other bonus. You don't have to service them like you have to service a regular vehicle.
No, that's right. There is no internal combustion engine to worry about. There's no coolant really, apart from the coolant in the battery area, which that's sealed anyway and it's not supposed to leak. And I think it's going to give mechanics something to worry about, or at least dealerships something to worry about, because there is really not a Tesla mechanic apart from someone, I think, operating out of Claremont or Dalkeith or something.
Yeah, in a shed, I understand.
Yeah, because it doesn't really need anything apart from tyres, and that's it. Oh, tyres and wiper blades, I think the guy said. But they actually
Which means if you're operating a tyre franchise, things are looking quite good.
Yeah,
still going to need tyres.
Good. Yeah. If you're selling wiper blades, you've still got happy days ahead. But the guys actually said that they received a letter in the mail from Tesla, and it said you don't need to do regular servicing. Period.
What a concept. And then you start to look at that and say, gee, how does this fit?
Yeah. So just by saying that, I mean, I could hear from where we are in the studio, millions of minds being blown around Australia saying, what, you don't need to service it?
No, you don't need to regular service it, which is quite remarkable when you stop and think about it.
Insane.
It is one of those things that's part of the issue too, isn't it? Getting your head around the concept of things that have changed.
Yes.
It just rewrites the rule books. And by the way, the range, for the most part, you could do a journey from Perth to Albany without any problem.
Yep.
More and more charging stations, but you can charge them at home.
Yeah.
Mate, we're out of time.
Wow.
We had so much fun this afternoon, we didn't even see time fly. Bernadette said, I thought you said you were only going to be an hour. And I said, yeah, well, I thought I was only going to be an hour too. But, well, it was 3 hours.
Yeah, those guys can talk, and also those cars can really go.
They sure can.
Do you have something happening in your community?
The local school fete, a community concert, a fundraising quiz night, or perhaps your sports club needs a helping hand.
Promote it on the 6PR Community Bulletin Board. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai.
No matter how big or small your event, make sure it's on the 6PR Community Bulletin Board, a free service for non-profit groups where you live.
Email details to community@6pr.com.au. Proudly brought to you by Hyundai. All day, every day, WA.